Dear friends, there is a good news for you which I would like to share with you. I am the Messiah for whom you have been waiting for so long. I am here to make peace on earth, entire earth. Now I have to tell you why I say that. If I do not tell that now, it will be a crime against humanity from my part. I am Asok, who was an entrepreneur, but now more interested in spiritual matters and world peace. Now I am going to quote from the Holy Bible, Isaiah chapter 2, verses 1 to 5. The word which Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. It shall come to pass in the latter days that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established as the highest of the mountains, and shall be raised above the hills, and all the nations shall flow to it. And many people shall come and say, Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he may teach us his ways, and that we may walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge between the nations, and shall decide for many peoples, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of the Lord. Extracts from the above verses are engraved in front of the United Nations building in New York. Now the important question is whether I am the Jacob mentioned in the Holy Bible. After formal education, I left India to the land of the prophets to do business. There the locals and the Westerners found it difficult to pronounce my first name, Asok. So they called me Jacob, and all the people I met there knows me as Jacob. This is the name God revealed to the Jews through prophet Isaiah. And somewhere else in the Old Testament, I read that the Christ will rise from Jacob. Christians will call me Jesus Christ. Muslims will call me Isa Nabi or Prophet Isa. To the Hindus I am revealed as Kalki, and to the Buddhists as Maitreya. Like Jesus and Shankaracharya, who propounded the theory of non-dualism, I left home at the age of 12. Jesus left home for 3 days. I left for 3 years for high school studies in a boarding school. At that age, I was sent for a social awareness and leadership camp, SALT. There, after giving lessons of leadership training, they took us to a slum where the poorest of the poor people live in that city. We were asked to meet the people living there and understand their problems. From an old man there, we got insights into their problems. At the end of the meeting, the old man told, nobody went there with a purpose like this. And with tears in his eyes, he told, God has listened to his prayers. Some of us may grow and solve problems of people like him. This was a life-changing moment for me. My outlook changed. And later in life, when I take an important decision, I think about this man and consider whether people like him will benefit from my actions. When I was doing contracting business, we needed laborers, and the practice was to collect a big amount of money from the laborers whom we employed. But I didn't do that. If I had collected money from the laborers and did other practices like paying bribes were required, I would have been a very rich man, but with a tainted soul.
Okay.
For this reason, I did not utilize the big opportunities offered to me by people in high places, because they understand me very fast. This is because I identify threats to their organizations and opportunities for them. They use it for highly beneficial planning for action. I want to do the same things for the entire humanity, but here I have a problem. I am not good at mass communication. People who understand me should help me to convey it to the masses. People like Dr. Babu Paul, who retired from the Indian Administrative Service, and Mr. Amitabh Kant IAS, they understand fully well each of my expressions. Coming back to my spiritual life, in 1992, at the age of 30, Mr. Thomas Burley, my good friend, who is talented in many fields, he told me that I am an oracle. At that time, I was not able to understand it. Jesus Christ started his public life at this age of 30. But in 1993, when I started watching live wars on the CNN television channel, my nights became sleepless. When I regained my ability to sleep 3 or 4 hours a night, I started dreaming unusual things. Most of it were about bringing peace on earth. Then I knew that I am the Messiah. Then on, my life is guided by dreams. And I believe that is the way Almighty God conveys messages to me. When I told about my dreams to my brother and friends, they were not able to understand me. Later, my brother took me to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist talked to me for half an hour and decided that I don't have any problems which require psychiatric treatment. As we were leaving the consultant's room, the altruistic part in me told me that this hospital will benefit from me. So I returned to the doctor and told her that I am troubled by watching television news and requested her to admit me for observation. The hospital benefited in 3 different ways because I threw light on problems which they were not aware of. The best psychiatrist I met so far has told me that this is not actually bipolar disorder, but he classified it as bipolar because that is the closest thing he could do, because the symptoms, some of the symptoms are similar. If it is like that, it is encouraging, because the people, historical figures who had this problem was Napoleon Bonaparte, Lincoln, Churchill, Beethoven, Van Gogh, etc. Also, psychiatrists are of the opinion that the prophets Abraham, Moses, and Jesus Christ were bipolar. In 1995, when I was 33, I had to face a direct threat on my life. See, this is the age at which Jesus Christ and Shankaracharya died. For security reasons, I got admitted to a hospital where I found psychiatrists with whom I can communicate better. When I told them about my mission of bringing peace on earth, the senior psychiatrist told me to wait for the right opportunity to develop, to start my mission for peace. She told me to wait and advised that time is on my side because I was only 33 then. The psychologist there was a personal friend, and he called me Prophet Jacob and told me that there is no medicine for me. In 1996, a person who was very close to me asked me whether I am the Holy Spirit. Around the same time, two of my friends whom I helped a lot and they benefited, they observed that you are not the God. In the year 2003, I was walking on the Fort Kochi beach. I observed a white man sitting on the beach meditating. I stood in front of him, waiting for him to open his eyes. He opened his eyes and came running to me, and we shook hands. Then I asked him what is written behind him in the big banner. He told without any mistake the entire quote from Mahatma M.K. Gandhi. It said, peace could be achieved only where truth could be pursued. I was in a mood to talk about world peace. That night we had dinner together, and when before parting ways, he told me that he was praying to God on the beach to show the person who will bring peace to earth and end all this chaos. The next day, I invited him to my house and we came together home. At the front gate, on the pillar, it was engraved Koil. He asked me the meaning of that, which I translated it as a place of worship. Immediately he told me that his surname means church. It is a Scottish word which I forgot. Then he told me that he wants to cancel his trip back home to Australia and join me to work for world peace. But I told him the time has not come, and he asked me to contact him when the time comes. On the 26th of December 2004, tsunami affected some parts of Kerala. I was attending a wedding ceremony near the seashore, and a police vehicle came and told us, the inspector told us to escape towards the east because people died 3 kilometers away. As I stood there planning my next move, a man walked up to me and asked me whether I know him. I told him, yes, we have met before. Then he explained that he met me in 1983 and encouraged me to go to West Asia, where my parents were there at that time. He told me that I don't have to be afraid of tsunami. God has bigger plans for you and you are safe. Then he told me to look at the compound of the building where my grandfather's house stood, where I spent my early childhood. That is now called Bethlehem House, and the people who occupy it are missionaries of incarnation. These two signs are for me and all the people to believe that I am the Messiah. Now we have seen 3 signs which say that I am the Messiah, which indicates that. Apart from Mr. Kirk, who believes that I am the Messiah, whom God has shown to him, Two others saw apparitions. The first was Mr. Basil, who saw me walking along with the image of Jesus Christ on the backwaters of Cochin. Another was Mrs. Stella, who saw the image of Jesus Christ behind me. In 1995, I told a psychiatrist that my sleeplessness is due to watching TV news which shows wars, live wars. She observed that I have the heart of Jesus Christ. Satya Sai Baba of Puttaparthi, a holy man, Hindu holy man, has predicted that a man with the heart of Jesus Christ and the brains of Krishna will come and lead humanity towards peace. He also added that this man will be from Kerala, widely known as God's own country, which is my native place. When I look back, there are many such incidents which indicate that I am the Messiah. All religions are the spiritual legacy of the whole of humanity. These are the pillars which God has built through human beings. So far, we have been talking about the past. Now we have to address the future. What we should do immediately to attain peace. The first step should be to adopt a language, a living language for the whole of humanity. We should thank God for revoking the curse at Babel. In a dream, God has instructed me to guide the humanity to accept English as the human unity language, HUL or HUL. Towards the middle of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, Arjuna, you should also work for the integration of the world. According to the Islamic belief, when Isa Nabi or Prophet Jesus returns, even the stones will talk. Which are the stones which talks now? It is the mobile phones we carry in our pockets. Now I appeal to all the people in the world, especially religious leaders and political leaders, to come forward and discuss about this even beyond the World Peace Day. Thank you for listening to my words. God bless you.